Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome back. Well, this is a bit zoomed in for some reason, but it is what it is. It is what it is. A new mic for the next couple of days. If you can hear me well, let me know. If the sound is too low, let me know as well. But, anyways, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to the breakfast show. It's Monday, and it seems like Monday is better than Friday, although usually we do like Fridays way better than Mondays. But last Friday we've had, well, red across the board, right? Remember last Friday, this is what we have seen. The horror, right? Red across the board. Everything was red. Well, almost everything. Almost everything was red on Friday. And now pre-market, almost everything is green. Almost everything is green. So let's talk a little bit about the market. And of course, good morning to everyone in the chat. Let us know if you bought the dip, especially after hours. For those that did have access to after hours, well, maybe like this. If you had access to after hours action on Friday, I do think that you could have bought a lot of good or gotten a lot of good deals because for some strange reason, after hours on Friday, a lot of stocks went down another 5 to 10% or so. I believe iron at one point went down 16% after hours, like flash crashes. Incredible. But now it seems to have been recovered quite nicely. Then again, not everyone has access to after hours or even pre market action. So it sucks, but it is what it is. We'll see what happens throughout the day. Now, as for the news, we do have, for those that own Bloom Energy, for example, we do have some good news there. Brookfield, we have some news there as well. And then, of course, some macro or maybe geopolitical information. We've got that as well. For the Taylor Swift people out there, the Swifties, apparently she's getting a 6-part docu-series on Disney Plus. I guess that's why the markets are green. I guess that's why the markets are green right now. But we do have also a Salesforce Dreamforce event this week. A lot of the analysts do think that this is going to be one of the, let's say, sentiment shifts around the stock. Remains to be seen what gets announced, especially with regards to Agent Force. As for the rest, Secretary Bessent on shutdowns is starting to affect the economy, so that's not great, which is also why we're only getting the CPI report at the end of the month. October 24th is when we're going to get the CPI report with or without the shutdown. Secretary Bessent on China, 100% does not have to happen, the 100% tariff. US-China relationships are good. Bloom Energy is up 34% following Brookfield $5 billion AI infrastructure partnership. I've seen in the chat a couple of people that own Bloom for quite a while right now. So congratulations on that, because this is one of the names, especially in the energy sector, that has been going up and up and up for quite a long time, actually. So let's actually pull this thing up. This is basically it. This is Bloom BE, right? Look at this. I mean, back in June, this thing was worth 21 bucks. We're now at $111 per share pre-market. So congrats to all shareholders. And even BN Brookfield, I believe they've acquired all the rest of Oaktree, right? Howard Marks Oaktree. Over the last couple of years, they already acquired the majority stake, I believe, of the company, and now they've bought all the rest. What you've also seen here, and by the way, all of this is a pre-market action. We're going to have a look at that in a bit. But right now, what you can see right here is that Friday, the big red candle did actually find the 100-day moving average, and now we're going back up a little bit. So Brookfield, I know it's an amazing company, different tickers, BN, BAM as well. Very, very complex structure, but an incredible track record, an incredible company as well. So congrats to all the shareholders of those companies. What do we have left? We have here some, who's calling me? I'm busy. Stop bothering me. We have some Beyond Meat. I didn't know this thing was still publicly traded company, but it is. It's worth 90 cents. It's worth 90 cents. I don't know who still think this can be a success, but okay. It is what it is. More comments here by Scott Bessent. We don't want to decouple from China. But China is sending a decoupling message. Everything's on the table, including delisting China's ADRs. Of course, not good for Alibaba, Pinduoduo, JD shareholders, etc., etc. But confident that this can be de-escalated. If not, we have substantial levers we can pull. We could move more aggressively than how China has. And the comment here, stops there. So we have aggressively pushed back against China exports control. This was a proactive move. There was substantial communication over the weekend. Again, like I said on Friday, every time this happens on Friday, it happens for a reason, because Saturday, Sunday markets are closed, so they have time to discuss whatever they need to discuss. And then on Monday, well, the story can be completely different, which is what we're seeing again right now. But we'll see. We'll see what happens over the next couple of days. Again, 2 weeks from now, a little bit less than 2 weeks from now, both President Xi and President Trump are going to be at that APEC South Korea summit. Whether or not they will talk there remains to be seen. Right now, the meeting is not canceled, despite, of course, the tweets or the truth posts over the weekend and on Friday. So this is basically, as we say in Dutch, stand van zaken. Nothing really has changed. Status quo as of now. Because remember, the restrictions, the tariffs, all of the extra levers that can be pulled, there is a specific date for that, right? Didn't happen on Friday, didn't happen today. It's, I believe, November 9th or November 1st or something like that. So let's see what we have more to say right here. So here, Brookfield nearing $3 billion deal for remaining Oaktree stake. So the remaining Oaktree stake was worth around $3 billion. For those that didn't know, Brookfield did acquire already the majority of Oaktree for quite a long time. Howard Marks was still at Oaktree, but I don't think he was that actively involved in the company anymore. over the last couple of years. Then we have your Bank of America note on Intel to underperform from neutral, but does maintain a $34 price target. In our view, the recent $80 billion jump in Intel's market cap more than reflects its improved balance sheet and external foundry potential. Meanwhile, Intel's competitive outlook remains challenged with no discernible AI portfolio or strategy, an uncompetitive server CPU, and less flexibility now than before in divesting loss making manufacturing, in our view. Well, in my view, I don't. Intel at $20 never made sense to me. Intel at $21 didn't make sense to me either. When you're trading as Intel, $20, even sometimes $90, you were trading at below book value. You were trading at levels where usually bankrupt companies were trading at. Like I said before, I didn't think Intel was going bankrupt. So let's say the first 30 or maybe even, 30, 40% or so increase in stock price to me made a lot of sense because Intel should have been worth more. Then all the rest, yes, is because of the better balance sheet, is because of all the external investments, and is because of the potential future foundry announcements that could happen. So yes, in the price that you're paying today, there is already quite a lot of future potential or announcements baked in. For sure, for sure. Then we had the announcement of 18A last week. We'll see how that will evolve, of course. If that becomes successful, I do think that the story here does change. And then, of course, with 14A, if that becomes a product that's high in demand and successful, then things will change for sure for Intel. But we'll have to wait 2 weeks. I think in 2 weeks or so, Intel will report their quarterly figures. Quarter will definitely not be an amazing quarter, but it's more about comments during the earnings call. That's for sure. Let's see. Shanghai Gigafactory has began a production ramp up in Q4. We have China exports that jumped 8.3% in September to $328.6 billion, the fastest growth in 6 months and well above forecast. While shipments to the United States fell 27%, exports to non-US markets surged 14.8%, led by the EU, Asia, and Africa, Latin America as well. Imports rose 7.4%, lifting China's trade surplus to $90.5 billion. Economists say the export resilience driven by high growth sectors like EV, chips, and batteries. Okay, so this is the way it looks like right now. China export growth exceeds forecast, exports in dollars and imports in dollars. Actually, let's actually look at the crypto markets, because I do think we've seen some movements there in Ethereum, in Bitcoin. Let's see. Ethereum back above $4,000. So we did drop. I mean, Friday we did drop quite sharply. On Friday, huge liquidation event, as I showed you in yesterday's video. It was the number one liquidation event in crypto history. So congratulations to all the participants there. But it did recover. We're now here back above that 100-day moving average. So we're back at $4,118. I didn't check BitMine just yet to see if they did buy more or not during the dip. As for BTC, back at $114,608. So here as well, huge drop. And again, we've seen a lot of data talking about investors, traders using quite a lot of leverage. 2x, 5x, 10x. In these types of events, yes, you will get liquidated, and quite quickly. If you want to use leverage, if you want to be super exposed like this and then complain, then I guess, you have to change your strategy a little bit. You have to change your strategy a little bit. Check BMNR, they bought. Okay. I will check BMNR and see if they bought. So BitMine investors relations, and it seems like we do. Yep, you are correct, my friend. You are correct. So BitMine announces it holding exceeding 3 million tokens and total crypto and cash holdings of $12.9 billion. Of course, it's less than last week because the value has fallen. By the way, yes, today I believe is Columbus Day, so the bond market is closed, but the stock market remains open. So BitMine now owns a greater than 2.5% of the ETH token supply, now at a halfway point as it moves towards the alchemy of 5%. I did think I saw a BitMine video on YouTube that was released. Tom Lee talking there about the strategy going forward. So first of all, Gabriel, thank you for the super chat. MP, so the MP Materials, American Rare Earth Producers. Yes, most of these names, right, have gone up on Friday, and this company specifically has gone up previously on that Apple announcement and investment news I believe, a couple of months or so ago. This rare earth discussion is quite tricky. I've tried to read a little bit more about this during the weekend. It's true that China dominates the refining part of it, which is very important. But over the years, their dominance has fallen. They still have a large majority, but over the years, their dominance has fallen. And if they do continue with these types of tactics where yes, they do control a lot of it, and then they start putting restrictions on all of it, it will push all of the other companies, all of the other countries out there to, of course, globalize the supply chain and diversify away from China. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, right? So again, it's not, and I believe with this company MP Materials, yes, specifically, they have some big goals, I believe, already for 2027, 2028. Remains to be seen if these goals are achievable. But remember, these refining companies, these rare earth material companies, because again, rare earth, if people read about this, you think, oh, it says rare earth, and suddenly, oh, it's because you cannot find it anywhere else than where China is. Well, no, that's not true. Okay, it's not that rare to find it. But it is true that China, especially in Africa, does control quite a lot of areas. China has been investing in Africa for the last decade or so, very, very aggressively, take a control over certain areas in Africa very aggressively, has loaned them or lent them a lot of money, knowing very well that probably they will not be able to repay them. And so you can't repay your loan. We'll take over a mine. Oh, we'll take over this. We'll take over that. It's a dirty tactic, but it is an aggressive and working tactic for the last 10 years. You can read about it online. There are various reports on China's investments in Africa, various documentaries about this as well. It is interesting if you are interested in all of it. And if not, then not. It's okay. Nobody needs to be a rare earth expert overnight. We'll survive without being an expert about this. So the processing is rare, not the materials. No. So again, the processing right now might seem exclusive to China because China has driven the cost down throughout the years, and so have put a lot of businesses out of business. But these companies, these refining companies, the processing companies, have existed before. And so if suddenly there is backing by, let's say, big tech companies, by governments, then maybe cost-wise, it would make sense for these other companies to start opening up again and function. They closed down because economically they couldn't survive. And so it is maybe exclusive right now. It is not rare. These companies do exist. They exist quite a lot in the United States. They exist in Japan. They exist in Europe as well. It was a matter of we can't compete in pricing. Okay, so maybe that will change. Maybe that will change pretty soon. So Going back to BitMine, so we're talking about mining and BitMine here, but cryptocurrencies. They are, of course, still the number one Ethereum treasury, the number two global treasury behind MicroStrategies. They own just over 3 million ETH tokens at $4,154 per ETH. They still have 192 Bitcoins. And of course, their equity stake in 8co, the Orbs WorldCoin company. The crypto liquidation over the past few days created a price decline in ETH, which BitMine took advantage of. They acquired 202,037 ETH tokens over the past few days, pushing their ETH holdings to over 3 million, or 2.5% of the supply of ETH. Right? We've talked about that. We would have been surprised if they did not buy more ETH over the last couple of days. So that's good. So that's good. So that's BMNR. I assume since Ethereum has gone up, I assume that BMNR has gone up as well. Let's see. First of all, let's actually see who's up the most pre-market. BMNR is here actually. BMNR is up 4.2% pre-market. We have Rocket Lab. Again, Rocket Lab is on a rocket, is up another 6.6%. Iron is recovering nicely here, 5.6%. I know some people will say, yeah, but you sold some share, half of my shares on Friday. Do you regret it? I do not. I do not. Again, I still have 500 shares of Iron. And if you do the math, 500 shares of, well, if one share costs $63, it's still a very, very big position for me. And like I said, if the stock does drop or if we get an announcement, I will just accumulate more shares over time. With Rocket Lab, of course, with the Neutron event, let's say around the corner, and me still not having the same amount of shares as I had back in June, because in June I took profits at $51. Then the stock did drop to around $39, $40 or so. I acquired around 75% of the shares that I took profits from. So I'm not back at my full position just yet. And here as well, I don't mind accumulating and averaging up over time, of course, over time. So who's up even more? Applied Digital is up after being up 16% on Friday. We have AST Space Mobile up as well. So a lot of the stocks, first of all, on Friday, right? I've shown you this clip on TV, right? Oh, people that bought stocks over the past couple of weeks on Friday got completely crushed. I was like, no, that's not true. If you bought stocks a couple of weeks ago, the crash on Friday didn't crush you. It basically either brought you back to prices not seen since a week before Friday, or maybe if you bought specific names, you were break even. But saying that, oh, Friday crushed everyone, no, unless of course you were using leverage and you got completely liquidated, then yes, then maybe yes. But overall, what happened Friday for a lot of these stocks is basically went back to prices not seen since the Friday before or the Monday of that same week. Right here for SoFi, for example, on Friday went back to prices not seen since Monday, October 6th. And now we're going back up. Same here with Robinhood. We're going back to prices not seen, okay, since the Wednesday before. So yes, the Friday was a big hit, but it was a big hit after okay, AMD is another story, of course, but it's a big hit on one day. But let's not forget that we kept on going up consistently for the last couple of days, last couple of weeks, and of course, over the last last 6 months, we've been going up and up and up like there's no tomorrow. So Friday, unless you were using margins and you got that margin call, you were not crushed. You were basically back to prices of Monday or the Friday before. And so yes, some companies did provide us with good, let's say, buying opportunities or maybe averaging up opportunities, because some stocks were still, in my opinion, quite cheap. D-Local being one of those. D-Local is one of those that I tried to buy after hours on Friday. no success. No success. Because I believe it went down all the way to $13. The after hours market sometimes is quite annoying because sometimes you do get good deals, but you don't always get the shares. Fine, $13 or $14, let's be honest, for long-term investors, I don't think that will make such a big difference. But it would have been a nice catch. But it is what it is. Oscar was also, I think, down to $17 or so Friday after hours. Crazy. Now we're back above $19. Palantir still 170s. Rubrik still in the 80s. So again, even after Friday, it's still holding up quite nicely. We've got Duolingo here as well, despite, of course, this stock being hated for quite a while, held up quite nicely. Uber, $94. HIMS, 54. Reddit at 200, so flat on the 200 there. Shift 4, same. Although this one has not been performing quite well. Yes, on Friday it was down only 2.7%, for example. We've got Google here at $240. PayPal took a huge hit on Friday, right? PayPal was down 7.8%. Ridiculous. I've seen some comments if I will be buying more PayPal. Probably if I would, it's again to capture the most upside possible here. Again, you might say, oh, but you're being greedy now. No, it's not per se being greedy, because again, if it works out, I will take profits and I will not be that greedy. It's again looking at maybe January 2027, and in this case, $90 strike price, something like that. Because again, if over the next 12 months it does not go above $100, then there is something fundamentally wrong here. And after all the research that I've done, after all the research that we've done, we brought on Emir, we've seen the DCFs, we've seen all the data. We don't see how we could be wrong over a 12-month period, unless, of course, external factors change significantly to hurt this business. I mean, on Friday, SoFi was also down 7% or so, right? Because SoFi and rare earth and things like that are of course tied to each other, right? It makes total sense. It does not. It doesn't make total sense. It doesn't make sense at all, actually. So yeah, there are, and I said it before, I think SoFi being a big position for me, I wouldn't mind buying more. I wouldn't mind buying more because, again, we focus a lot of our energy on, what did you want to check? Open door, what is it? It dropped in the 7, no? Something like that? Yeah, 7.6. We talk a lot about AI, right? And I am exposed to the AI story, right? To semiconductors, through the Nebius core with Iron. But we also talk about, okay, when is this AI story going to slow down? When is the market going to ask the questions about return on investment, etc., etc.? I still think we have 2 years' time, approximately, I would say. And so I have zero issues actually allocating a lot of capital, as you know, to fintech, because I do think that fintech is a bit unrelated to this whole AI story, right? Okay, it's related to AI because all of these companies are going to use AI to make sure that the business functions more efficiently, etc., etc. But it's also, let's say, de-risking me from all of the potential future headlines, right? Although, as you know, when the market overreacts, everybody takes a hit, right? I've seen a comment on one of the videos over the weekend of someone saying, yeah, I have a lot of value stocks, dividend paying stocks, but they also got hit on Friday. So what's the point of being defensive if all the market overreacts? Do have a point. You do have a point. PayPal downgraded today by Goldman from neutral to sell. That's, in my opinion, a ridiculous downgrade. But we'll see if we get more information from that. So thank you for that. We'll go over a couple of analyst commentary over the next couple of minutes. Mercado Libre is also up a little bit right now, $2,170 per share. So yeah, I do think that fintech will do quite well. Depending, of course, on which fintech. But as you know, we like fintech. We like PayPal, we like SoFi, we like dLocal, we like Robinhood, we like Shift4, Adyen. you name it, Affirm, Sezzle. Like I like fintech again because if you look at those businesses, there is a change. There is a change in the way people use or go around about their finances. That there is a change going on right now. Of course, not every company is the same, but um, Goldman selling low so they can buy high. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'll see if I have the reasoning because I don't see why you would do this right now before the earnings report that will show you that Braintree is starting to reaccelerate, before ads gets launched in January, before the year-over-year comparisons become even easier for the company. All the while, the company buys back close to 10% of their shares. Very strange. But anyways, JJ, thank you for the super chat. Any change in how you're thinking about any of your options positions given volatility? No, well, I don't have Intel anymore. So that was a very successful one. That's closed. And all my PayPal ones, no, I haven't changed my mind about them at all. As I said before, I might actually increase the 2027, the 2027 one, not the shorter terms one, but the 2027 ones. And volatility again, volatility is also a reason why on a lot of them I'm already up triple digits. So yes, it's true that Friday those options took a 34% hit, but I'm okay with that. I knew going into it that it would be an extremely volatile, holding, which is also why I haven't done options up until now. But no, I haven't changed my mind on the PayPal options. The small end phase one doesn't really matter, and the recent Pagaya one, I haven't changed my mind either about that. I mean, you buy options because of the volatility, right? I assume if you don't like volatility, you would stay with these shares. You would stay with these shares. What stock did you wanna look at? I know I wanted to look at maybe some analyst commentary. So let's do that. Let's see if we can find the PayPal one. So actually we have a positive commentary here already on Rocket Lab. So Morgan Stanley raises their price target to $68 from $20. So imagine you have a $20 price target on Rocket Lab, and you wake up and you're like, actually, now that the stock is near $70, maybe it's time for us to actually move our price target. So it's quite interesting, right? They maintain hold, so they've had a hold rating. They've had a hold rating and a price target of $20, and now they're like, oh, it's at 68, so let's raise the price target, but let's leave the hold rating. It's quite ridiculous, but okay. QNC, greatest tennis player of all time. Well, you know me because I gave that answer already on Friday. For me personally, it's Nadal, just because of I like him. I've supported him for since the first time I saw him at Roland Garros. So for me, it's him. For a lot of people, it's Roger. For a lot of others, it's Novak. Yes, one has more Grand Slams than the other, but you ask me, for me, the greatest tennis player is Rafa, because of all the injuries, because of the way he's playing, the excitement, everything. To me, it's him. The moment he came into tennis, Roger dominated. Again, it's subjective. It's subjective. It's like people, although I don't agree with that, it's like people say, oh, but in the NBA, look, LeBron has scored more points, so he's the GOAT and not MJ. Well, if you look at the finals, can't really say anything against MJ, right? Plus, again, it's different eras. Different eras. I don't think LeBron would have scored as many points 25 years ago in an NBA that actually knew how to defend. Because today, if you're being honest, every game is like free for all. You want to throw, you want to score, you want everybody can score. But yeah. But despite, look, when you are a fan of one tennis player, people assume that you have to hate all the other players, but that's not the case. Although for a long period of time, since they were rivals, I did not like it when Roger was winning. I did not like it when Novak was winning. But you start to appreciate these players over time, more and more. And so, unfortunately, I have never seen Rafa play live. I almost had, um, once, twice actually, US Open, but I ended up watching Federer and Djokovic. And then I went especially to the Laver Cup before Rafa retired, and he didn't show up. That was I was quite pissed. I was quite pissed, but it is what it is. Thoughts on Sentinel-1 cybersecurity? Look, Sentinel-1 talked a big game last year when there were issues when there were issues with CrowdStrike, right? They said, "Oh, we're taking market share, we're winning, blah blah blah," but haven't seen anything happen. And if we're talking cybersecurity, I'm biased. I like Rubrik. I bought Rubrik, so Rubrik is the one. Nadal, what is that cause you are European? Well, all three of them are European, so who are we going to choose? Nadal is European, Roger Swiss, European, and Novak is a Serb, so he's European as well. So of course. Then we've got some comments here on AMD. Mizuho outperform rating, price target raised $275. Of course, after the OpenAI deal here, they say that it adds around $14 billion in revenue in fiscal year 2027 estimates. So up to, and this is a big number actually, up to $228 billion a year by fiscal 2030, according to their estimates, of course. Djokovic and or Roger every day that concern him, but they're also European. So I don't understand the comment. Anyways, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And again, it's subjective. You can say that you like that person, that tennis player more than the other because you enjoy the way that they're playing. The first time you watched tennis, it was them playing, etc., etc. I'm surprised I'm not seeing the PayPal. We do wait. What is this? We do one Mizuho Intel price target raised to $39. Okay, and then the other one. Okay, the other one we've already seen. AMD price target 650. Stefano, is that your personal price target, or or is this one that just came out? I assume it's yours. Let's see. No, I'm not Spanish. Although if I were Spanish, then yes, I guess it would have been logical for me to choose Rafa. But no, I'm not. I'm not Spanish. I'm from the country that produced two of the best female tennis players of all time, Kim Clijsters and Justine Henin, for those that don't know. So no PayPal. No PayPal. Interesting. We'll see. I'll actually refresh the page to see if we got something new, but it seems like we do not. It seems like we do not. Hey, Culture, you're not thinking on getting exposure on energy stocks? Did you? Yeah, I saw the not BlackRock, Brookfield and Bloom Energy. I guess. Look, I guess when we talk about energy, I guess I have exposure through iron, right? Because iron is literally Iris Energy. They've got the energy, etc., etc. But no, I could be looking at it, but then again, it's just another way to get exposure to the AI story. And like I said, I am exposed enough. I am exposed enough. So Google, new $9 billion investment in South Carolina through 2027. Google has been announcing quite a lot of new deals over the last couple of days. They've announced a $5 billion one in Belgium, actually last week. So not too shabby, not too shabby, and it just shows you that they can continue to grow quite rapidly. You're not investing that much if you don't have the demand to back it up. Ondas expands U.S. defense offerings with a NAMO integrated WASP munition drone. So the the drone story continues. The drone story continues. This we already talked about BitMine and the extra Ethereum that they bought after the liquidation event. Upstart, Citizens reiterates market perform. Of course, it's quite interesting to see this after the BTIG node that came out 2 weeks ago that crashed basically the whole fintech sector. But yeah, will I consider buying a Novo Nordisk to diversify away from the AI story? It's been on the watch list, right? We've covered Novo Nordisk for quite a while, actually. It's been on the watch list, but eventually I went with United Health as more defensive play, and I still believe that Oscar fits that category as well. So not looking to add another one of those names right now. I'm still looking for a PayPal. Okay, so we do get here some Google and Amazon notes. So let's actually look at those. Amazon, I think, is a great pickup. I'm from Belgium. Yes, the Flemish side of it, not Dutch, Flemish. Although it's the same, same, but different, but still same. It's like British English and American English. So we have here a Google note. Price target $290. That was maintained. They say the following thing: YouTube global time spent declined 1.2%, first drop since tracking began. Instagram and TikTok competition weighing on engagement. TikTok global time spent up 8.7% year over year. Data excludes a CTV time, which could offset some declines. I would assume that it does offset some, if not a lot, of the decline. So yeah, I don't know why they had to release this right now. There's no new information just yet. Amazon, Citizens market outperform, same as Google. Price target here $285. Global monthly active users up 5.2% in September. US decline moderated by 80 basis points from August. Trend seen as positive amid broader sector deceleration. Again, we talked about Amazon 2 weeks or so ago. I think the moment we see an acceleration in AWS with the help of Anthropic, of course, the story changes. The profitability profile changes. The margins on that business are very, very high, right? Mid 30% or so. There was that one quarter where we were closer to 39%. But yeah, I think Amazon is going to be, I wouldn't say Amazon, although I thought about making this a title. Amazon is the next Google, right? When Google was extremely cheap, but it's not as cheap as a Google. It is a very good company, but it is not as cheap as what Google was a couple of months or so ago. But it is a tremendous company. It's a well diversified company as well. So yeah, Amazon, I don't think you can go wrong with that. YouTube Shorts algo is really bad. Really, I thought. I mean, I like my YouTube Shorts algo, although I did tell myself that I should spend way less time on these short form video algos, because you watch one and then suddenly you're like 30 minutes later you're still watching. So, yeah. Android CEO said an IPO is coming, but maybe in a few years. Correct. He said like single digit years, right? They want to go public when they are already profitable or when there is a clear path to profitability. The problem with that is that Prediction time, I guess, they'll be, if it's a couple of years from today, they'll go public at $100+ billion valuation. Until then, yeah, I don't know. It's a shame. It's a shame because I wanted to buy into this when they had like a $15 billion market cap in the private sector. Did not succeed to get the necessary contacts. But yeah, I'll I'll probably buy no matter what. Of course, depending on how good the financials will look like, that will basically tell me if I will buy a lot or not. In Bruges is a very good movie. Is a very good movie. Is a very, very good movie. I lived in Molenbeek many years ago. Yeah, I doubt you would. I doubt you would like to live there today. Um, and are you having cash at your disposal? Was there a time when you had to allocate everything? Yes, after April, I think I was close to 0% cash after the April crash. So we started the year, I think the portfolio was 13% cash or something like that. And then after April, close to May, it was at zero or close to zero. And today we are at 4.5, although if I would take all the profits from the Intel call options, it would jump significantly. It would jump significantly. But yeah, I have cash right now. I have cash right now, for sure. Again, like I said yesterday, it's because I got extremely lucky with the Intel play. The Intel call options literally like were a gift, were a gift to me by Mr. Market after spending so many years bag holding Intel. It gave me 520% returns, which I think everybody would take any day of the week. Do I own any other investment outside of stocks? I do not. I do not. Although some people say that I should, but then again, I mean, I own, as you know, collectibles and stuff like that, but no, properties to me is more about living in it rather than an investments, and the data backs it up. Although it's always good to have that as an asset, but I don't know. I rather have the buy and sell button at my disposal at all times, which is what stocks give you. Um, and then the real estate is where you live. That's just my way of seeing this. Of course, if there is like a great opportunity, you know someone that knows someone and he's developing a huge project and you get in super early, and so you are already making profit the moment that you sign because you're getting it at a lower price, then okay, it's different. But no, that's just me, the way I think right now. I'm 31. Fares, I'm 31. Do I think I will outperform? Well, that's my hope. I hope so. I hope so. If not, then I would not be doing this and I would just buy the index. But that's the hope. That's the hope, to outperform. I know it's not easy to do, but that's the hope. To keep finding great companies at good prices, not get scared out of positions, and just continue to invest, continue to hold, and then I don't think it would be that difficult to outperform the markets over a long period of time. But anyways, right now this is what we're looking at pre-market. We've gone over a couple of analyst comments. AMD, Amazon, Google. I'm still looking for the PayPal one. I'm not finding it just yet. We do have an OpenAI and Broadcom thing. So OpenAI conferred an 18-month partnership with Broadcom to co-design and deploy 10 gigawatts. Okay. So we've had 6 gigawatts with AMD, 10 gigawatts with NVIDIA. I think it was 10 gigawatts, and now another 10 gigawatts here of custom AI accelerators with Broadcom, marking one of its largest hardware collaborations yet. Is it 10 from NVIDIA? Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. The systems will combine OpenAI design chips with Broadcom's Ethernet networking memory and compute stack, aiming to cut inference cost and boost efficiency. OpenAI Sam Altman called it a gigantic amount of computing infrastructure to power future frontier models. Broadcom joins NVIDIA, AMD, and Oracle as key suppliers in OpenAI's rapidly expanding 33 gigawatts of compute build-out announced over the past 3 weeks. Incredible. Incredible. Yep. I mean, I guess they continue. I guess OpenAI continues to get a lot of allocation. That's the most important part here. A lot of allocation from memory players, from NVIDIA, from Broadcom. Yeah, that's a good strategy. That's a very good strategy. Why don't you consider using a mild percentage of margin instead of options play? I don't know. Again, options is a kind of leverage play, right? It is a leverage play. And so with options, I choose my price, I choose my date, and I can live with it. I can live with it. Of course, you can say, oh, but maybe just buy a 2x whatever stock and see what happens. Yeah, maybe, but again, with that, you can get screwed out of it quite quickly, I would say. Of course, depends on what you're buying, of course. But yeah, again, I don't want to increase suddenly the risk profile of my portfolio just because I need the extra upside. I've already chosen a couple of options, and it's good enough for me. It's good enough for me because if it works out, it is good enough. It is good enough. What collectibles do you collect? The ones where you have to catch them all. The one where you have to catch them all. The Pokemon ones. Been buying for actually again with that I was lucky because I bought a big chunk before the pandemic. The pandemic hit, and of course, during the pandemic, the prices of these collectibles have gone up significantly. So I had like first editions, starter Pokemon's PSA 9s, legendary collections PSA 9s, a lot of cards. Made actually 10x returns on it. Was pretty cool. Bought some sports cards as well. Although with sports cards, it did not work out. Did not work out because, well, you don't know, is the athlete going to perform? Is he not? And then is there a better card coming out? Is this a rookie? Is this not the right rookie year? Blah, blah, blah. So forget about the sports cards. I kept collecting only the Pokemon ones, and I have a nice collection. I still have a base set, complete base set collection, near mint as well. So not graded because PSA takes their time, and they became quite expensive. Actually, they became quite expensive. Grab gets a price target raised at Jeffries to $6.80. That's a 50 cents increase from their previous one. They said the following thing. 3Q GMV revenue and EBITDA estimates revised higher. Deliveries GMV expected to accelerate year over year with margin improvement. A mobility segment benefits from new users, higher frequency, and small city expansion. Financial services growing rapidly. Of course, the more that grows, then it becomes even more profitable there. And lower regional corporate costs are factored in. So they're seeing around 16% upside from the price we're at today. Gold. Okay, so 4:47 a.m. Eastern time. Wall Street Engine for the PayPal one, correct? Let's see if we can find that. But did they include the reasoning behind or not? Let's see what we got. Show me no. Maybe this. Non plus. This is JP Morgan, Tesla. No. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. I would have never scrolled down. I would have never scrolled down so much. Spud here, I noticed you've been adding to Oscar week after week. Is because you've gained a better understanding of the healthcare. Correct. Although I didn't add week after week, I added here and there opportunistically. Purely because one, we've had management give us already a lot of information for 26 and 27 guidance hasn't changed, but it did tell us that guidance does not include, right, the subsidies, the ACF subsidies being extended. And so when you start hearing that there is a possibility that the ACF subsidies will be extended, then there is quite a lot of upside from here. I'm not basing my decisions on that, but it does give me a bit more comfort, plus the fact that that position is still small. We still have 4 minutes until the market opens, but that position is still small, so it still gives me time to accumulate more shares over the next couple of weeks if we do again see drops, because it has been a volatile stock, right? We go to 20, then we go back to 17, go back to 18. So I accumulate accordingly. I'll accumulate accordingly. But yeah, the healthcare sector in the United States is still very complex. But again, when you understand the basics, plus you listen to management, you're already a bit more comfortable. Okay, so this is a big one for me. So Goldman Sachs downgrades PayPal to sell from neutral and sets their price target at 70. We are downgrading shares of PayPal to sell with $70 price target. We believe PayPal faces several transaction margin headwinds next year, including one, continued interest rate headwinds. Strange, okay. Lapping of the reacceleration of their credit products, but and the lapping of targeted repricing benefits in Braintree. The whole business is lapping, is going to have such an easy year-over-year comp period that these comments don't make much sense. Additionally, we see less line of sight for branded checkout and reacceleration in the near term, given softer trends in Germany, tariff de minimis related disruptions in the United States, and ongoing competition versus competing wallets from form factors. Remember, Jamie Miller, CFO, already talked about the guidance and the anticipated weaker e-commerce environment. It's nothing new. This mirrors the tone shift around the potential for the company to see stronger branded growth rates exiting the year as they trend towards the acceleration path laid out at their investor day. We expect around 3% transaction margin growth in 2026 versus current consensus of 5%, and believe valuation could derate further on continued concerns around competitive trends in online e-commerce. You know me, I disagree. And with that, let's actually go and open the markets. We'll come back to PayPal in a bit. The markets are about to open, and I think they're open right now. No, they're not open right now. Whew. I thought I was late, but I'm not. So we still have a couple of seconds. This is the heat map from Friday. I know people that will join in will be like, "Oh, what the heck is this?" No, this is the heat map of Friday. So don't freak out. The watch list on the left will update right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, ding, 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 bing, bing, bong, bing, 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 bong. We are open. It's Monday. Markets are open. We are, of course, seeing some green, if not all green, almost all green across the board here for the stocks that we follow. We'll give them a couple of seconds to update. The heat map will update as well. So ding, 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 bing, 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 bong. Markets are open on Monday, October 13. October 13, Columbus Day. Yes, I didn't know this. Just popped up on my Google Calendar. And so this is what we get. An updated heat map. Things are green. we are happy, although we are also happy when things are red because of the opportunities that it provides us. And so, what software is this? It's not software, it's just a website called TradingView. Not sponsored, but it's quite practical. It's quite practical. So, Applied Digital up 8%, Rocket Lab 6, AST 7, Micron up 5.4, Nebius 6, whoa, Nebius 6.3, Iron 5.5, Robinhood 4.6, Marvell 4%, Rubrik is up 3%, yes. SoFi is up 3.5, also good. Nvidia up 3. Basically everything's up 2-3% or so. Oscar is up 2.2%, CoreWeave 2.6, AMD 3.17, and we got even more updates here on the heat map. PayPal is back above $70, so it's up 1.32%, 39% right now. PayPal, of course, on Friday was at $75, $76, so still have a long way to go, but I still think that the big push will happen after the next earnings report and earnings call, which unfortunately, I don't even know if I'll be able to go live on that day because it is October 28th. Both SoFi and PayPal are reporting before the market opens. Now, I will be in Los Angeles end of October for 3 days. The question is, first of all, for those that are in California and LA right now, what time is it? Like, is it what's the time difference between New York and Los Angeles? Because if the time difference is big enough, then I do think that I can wake up like super early LA time, do the live, and then go to where I have to go, which I'll announce closer to that event. Because if it is like 6 a.m. right now in LA, so 3 hours, so it's 6:30 in LA, I would say. 6:30 in LA, okay, so that's no, okay, so that should be fine. So if I can stream from, they'll both report, what is it? Usually 8 a.m. Eastern, so 5 a.m. LA time. Should be fine. Okay, should be fine. No need to stress. Because 6:30 the market opens, both of them would have already reported and had their earnings call. Okay, so I'd have to wake up at 5 a.m. Maybe, yeah, okay, it's fine. 5 a.m. it's still afternoon my time, so should be fine. Okay, should be fine. I'll try to stream with Roy, depending on what he would want to stream. Because previously we did do PayPal, but I talked with him and I think he would like to do SoFi. So we'll see. We can, of course, focus before the earnings call on both earnings reports, and then the call we will see what we will do. We'll see what we will do. No, I'm not going to LA for a vacation. It's yeah, you could call it work. You could call it work. Yeah, there is an event. It's you'll see. It's interesting. It's something I didn't even know about 2 weeks ago. Something I didn't even know about 2 weeks ago. Anyways, this week, by the way, we also have ASML and TSMC report. ASML and TSMC will report this week. So that's a pretty important one. Applied Digital is back above the price we've been on Friday. Who's red? Reddit. Reddit is red. I'm not going to complain about that because I can't care. I don't care. I don't own it. Uber is flat. Palantir is flat. PayPal is also flat now. HIMS is up 0.7. CoreWeave 0.2. Amazon is 0.6, up 0.6% or so. So we opened up higher. We are going a little bit lower right now, but don't think it's something we should be panicking about. Rocket Lab is back at $70. Okay, it's definitely not a cheap stock at the moment. It's definitely not a cheap stock at the moment. Broadcom is probably going to be up, yeah, 7% right now on that OpenAI announcement. Um, let's see Sezzle real quick. Some of you said Sezzle is red. No, Sezzle is up. Sezzle is up almost 2%. Um, yeah, okay. After Friday, it did go under that 200-day moving average. We'll see how quickly they can go back up. And yeah, PayPal is red. PayPal is red right now. Yeah, didn't take a long time. CRM, Salesforce, 243. This one, again, there is Dreamforce event this week, so I expect that stock to be moving for in the next couple of days. We have Adobe, probably still also the same price, 340, 338. That one is up 0.3% right now. Dave, again, very strange name for a company, but okay. Dave is at $200, up 3% or so, yeah, 3%. Figma has had a nice little recovery over the last 2 weeks or so. Figma is at 61 bucks. Affirm last week went up a little bit on that Google announcement, and then it went back down. So, but it did touch that 100-day moving average. We're seeing it hold for now. We're seeing it hold from now, $71. You know, one name that we didn't look at for a long, long time, that's XYZ Block, the Jack Dorsey company. So we're still here in the 70s. This was also one that was very, very low, $43 or so. $74 right now per share for XYZ. Klarna, same as Affirm last week, got a Google partnership announcement, sort of partnership announcement. Okay, we'll see if it can go back here to $36. Interesting. Everything's tanking. Let's see. Now we still have the majority of the list here, large majority of the list. Only PayPal and CoreWeave are red, but the rest is still green. D-Local, where is D-Local? Up 1.4, back above the 50-day. Okay, back above the 50-day. Oscar is also up 2%. BE, well, what has this? How much? This one is up 20%. So congrats to those that hold Bloom Energy, up 20% on that Brookfield announcement. And Brookfield itself is up 3% today, I mean right now. Of course, things can... what to do with the local? Well, keep accumulating, I'd say. That's what I do. Keep accumulating. Yeah, green but started to descend, yes. I mean, that's usually what happens with these types of big green moves pre-market is like it opens up a lot. People see, oh, after Friday we are up, we're not up, because if you did buy the dip, let's say on Friday, you maybe want to secure some profits, and so you sell, and then we'll see if we can find a recovery throughout the day. PayPal is now down almost 8%, so all the way back here to the 50-day moving average. Could help with my options, actually. Well, with my options that I would like to buy. Because if we're down now 1%, I assume the options will be down after being down 34% on Friday. I assume it will be down a little bit more today. Could be an opportunity for me. Nobody has to follow, of course, because some people think it is a trash stock, but a lot of people have not studied the business or listened to what management has said, and that's fine. Pagaya, someone Blink. Thank you for a super chat. What do you think of the stock Pagaya? I like it. I have a very, very small options play on that one. More risky, $40 January, because again, I do think that this is an overreaction. A lot of it is because of that Upstart note that came out. I do think that Pagaya is a better business, more selective business than Upstart. They are going to report their quarterly figures beginning of November. I do think the numbers will be quite good, and so I am betting here on a big jump on a big jump after they report earnings. We're also going to get a rate cut, in my opinion. Until then, we have this October meeting happening. So it should help it. It should help it. I like it at these prices. I like it at these prices, pure share exposure or whatever you want else. But yes, I like it at these prices. No one likes PayPal above $70 other than the company, I think. I think the company would like to see its stock go up a little bit, but if not, they can continue to buy more shares for cheap. Does Trader require? No, they do not. You can sign in for free. If you sign in for free, you do have some extra features. Watch list is 30 names long. I think if you don't sign up for free, again with a Google account or whatever, some things are restricted, I think. Plus, if you sign in, you can save some things like the watch list, so you don't always have to make them again and again. But you can use it for. I use it for free. I'm not paying for this. Which trading platform? I use my bank here because not everyone offers options, so I use my bank. I'm sure, Interactive Brokers offers it, and I'm sure a lot of other platforms offers it. But since I have my retirement account there, I just use that, and that's about it. And that's about it. What other names are red? We have United Health that has joined the red party. But again, the rest is holding up. Might not be as green as before, but it's still green. The markets itself, let's see. I did see that the euro dollar is back to 115. We went at one point, we were at 118, then 117, 116 is, I believe, where we're at. Yeah, 115. 1.15 is where the euro dollar is at right now. Dow Jones is up 0.96, S&P 1.15, and the Nasdaq 1.48. Bitcoin is at 114.7 thousand, ETH 4,123. So yeah, not bad. Not bad. Hey, where did that go? Something. I don't know. Something happened here. We have a Duolingo price target of $460 at KeyBank. Okay, I guess now that the stock has gone up, I guess people can change their minds on the company. Guess it makes sense, right? I guess it makes sense. Sentiment follows price. Any similar stocks? The only similar stock there is now Google. The rest is Meta, Amazon, Mercado Libre, Tesla, and Google as well. The major difference is that it's a portfolio I started a long, long time ago. I bought 100 stocks of Rubrik. Welcome to the Rubik's Cube. Rubik's Cube. By the way, I don't know if you noticed, but I don't know if it pops up, but if you look at the merch under the channel, I did put up two new things I thought were funny. One is a PayPal t-shirt and maybe mug, and the other one is an Advanced Money Destroyer one. Very funny, I think. I mean, people liked it. I do plan on making some funny merch of stocks that we do own or sayings that we do have here. But you will see it pop up if I ever make them. Is SoFi a good price or should I wait for a lower price? So that's always the question, no? That is always the question. Where is it? Here it is. That's always the question people ask. Is now a good price to buy it or is it lower? Of course, we would like it lower. Doesn't always go lower, but I like it here. I like it at 25. Of course, I own a lot, but yeah. Rubrik dropped from 3% to -3. What do you mean? It's at minus. Actually, PayPal is now green. PayPal is now up. Rubrik is not. No, Rubrik is still at up 2%. Or you mean it went up 3% and went down 3%? But But no, it's still green. Everything's green actually. Everything's green. Are you buying more Rocket Lab as it jump? No, I'm not buying more Rocket Lab. I agree with you that we are quite extended right now. I mean, price to sales ratio, it is quite ridiculous. But then again, we know that the price to sales ratio right now is based on what the business is currently generating. Once you start adding Neutron, you start adding what, 50 to 60 million dollars per launch. Of course, the launches will start with one. I believe they said one in 26 to 27, so it's not that much. But in the meantime, you have contracts that can come in, and that does change the profile of the business. But no, it's not something I will chase for now. If it drops, then yes, but I'm not willing to pay 50x sales today. I'm willing to own it, but I'm not chasing. I'm not chasing right now. Chime. Voila, Chime is the one I missed from the. Thank you for the reminder. Whoa, Chime under 20. I mean, I made a video about Chime. It was 23, and I found it to be a good deal already. So now under 20, yeah, of course, it's still interesting. It's, you know me, I like fintech. I like fintech. If you didn't notice, yeah, it's I like it. I like it. I don't own it because I own enough, but it's an interesting one. It's definitely an interesting one. Very popular. I've showed you in my video. Google Trends. Chime is very popular in the United States. By the way, if you got any ideas, funny ideas for T-shirts or whatnot, do write it down in the chat. In the chat, someone said here, where is it? The Bruno Fernandez shirt. T-shirt versus goals. A T-shirt with goals versus gains. Good one. Any thoughts about Root? Some people talked about it being the Oscar of auto insurance. Yeah, some people talk about it being the lemonade of just auto insurance as well. They've definitely been performing well. They've definitely been performing well. You have the cash to go in Chime. I know. Now I have the cash to go into a lot of things. Not to brag, but yeah. But I rather keep either the cash or just increase what I have, right? Remember, I still have very small allocation to Shift 4 and to Rubrik and even to Oscar. And maybe I would like to increase the PayPal options play for 2027. Now it's only going to be 2027. Shift 4, $77.7. Okay. Yes, we've talked about the Goldman one. I disagree. I disagree. I think 2026, especially the first couple of quarters, very, very easy year-over-year comparisons. I think Braintree is going to reaccelerate the overall business. Zero pricing of the ads business as well. So I disagree with it. I disagree, and downgrading a stock that is that cheap is in my opinion stupid. Oklo, I've got some question about that. Been studying Oklo, can't understand why it goes up. It goes up in anticipation of nuclear, right? All of these data centers are going to need a lot of energy. Nuclear is one that will definitely work out over time. Oklo has that Sam Altman connection as well. I just don't buy it. That you have to pay God knows how many billions of dollars to buy maybe a commercially available product in 27 and 28. Doesn't make much sense. USAR. The rare earth one. Ooh, wow. Up 23% today. After even on Friday being up quite a lot. Not bad. Not too bad. Not too bad. Have you seen some info regarding Nebius? No, not seen any Nebius specific news as of right now. And if I will, I'll of course update you either in the next live stream or another video. But right now, I did not see anything Nebius related. And PayPal is back to being flat. So I think with that we can end today's live. It's been a good open so far. It's been a good open so far. Thank you all for joining. Tomorrow I don't think I will have time for a market open. Probably a close. But tomorrow I might not make the market open. But you can maybe anticipate a video tomorrow or later today. But tomorrow market open will not be possible for me. So with that said, this is where we will leave each other for the day. It's a good start of the week, I would say, better than the end of last week. Thank you all for joining the live streams. I really actually appreciate all of you joining me more and more each and every day. It helps a lot. We learn more together than we do alone. So I appreciate all of that. And yeah, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see each other in